各位线上的朋友、线下的朋友，大家好。各位下午好跟早上好。我必须用中文讲啊，因为我们很多广大的听众跟看直播的人，可能都透过中文来理解这次的会议。首先，我非常感谢各位的参与。今年因为疫情跟种种的限制，所以这次的第7届的网络社会年会，我们在全球7个城市同时展开，包含了上海、北京、武汉、杭州、台北、香港，以及今天作为一个 opening 的旧金山。那我们也非常荣幸的可以与 Internet Archive 合作，在这个有点像是我们那个 Internet， 有点像是我们国际网络的圣殿那个白教堂里头举行。我们非常的荣幸请到今天各位来的嘉宾来一起参加。今年的年会主题，其实我们主要关切一个问题，就是在现在非常激烈的讨论，从 Web2 到 Web3 的转型里头，讨论各种区块链的技术，讨论各种新型的点对点新型的各种加密货币跟加密通讯的同时，那么我们能够回顾一下 Web 2.0留给我们的遗产，比如说最原始的 P2P 的技术。那我们也希望可以把这个 P2P 的技术扩展到人跟人之间，群体跟群体之间的这些交流。我们用一个比较简单的说法，就是除了有 hardware 跟 software 以外，我们还有一个 weighware， 就尸体，就我们的肉身。那肉身的构成，其实在整个网络的世界里头一直非常重要。可今天我们好像几乎都忘了这个事情。比如说，我们在加密货币里头可以随时的买卖，可以随时的交易，我们几乎不用知道对方是谁。听起来是一件非常美妙的事情，但它同时有个风险，是因为我们越来越不关心对方是谁了。我们可以跟任何人交易，不管对方是谁。我们有点像是万物用个比较形象的话来说，就是万物互联，但众生孤独。也就我们人跟人之间的关系越来越淡薄，我们好像离机器越来越近。所以我希望在这7个城市论坛里头，我们可以开始一种新的回顾从 Web 2.0开始 ，P2P 技术在各个层面上展开的旅程。因为我们是中国美术学院，所以我们很多参与者其实是艺术家，然后年轻的 coder，策展人等等。那我们关切的东西可能跟一般的code 也好，或者是programmer 也好，是很不一样的。我就简短的讲到这里，因为我们还是把时间留给刘医师。那刘医师刘医师跟后面他们3个人其实是这旧金山场的主要的组织者，非常的辛苦，他们要解决3个时区的问题，美西、欧洲跟中国。所以组织会非常非常的不容易。所以我现在就先请那个刘医师来开场，带着我们进到新产的场次里头。再次的欢迎各位，再次的感谢大家，谢谢。
OK， 大家可以听到吗 ？OK， 我就，那欢迎大家来到城市论坛，然后究竟，大家稍微等我一下，因为我得。现在 OK 吗？我看一下，大家来到我们这个第7届网络社会会，然后第一场的这个城市论坛在旧金山，我们今天在这个 Internet Archive 的总部跟大家进行直播。我们这个非常欢迎大家来跟我们一起探讨，在这个个人计算机和这个嬉皮士诞生的一个城市，我们希望跟大家一起探讨 P2P 和这么一种新的技术，不是新的技术，就是这么一种技术和一种协作方式，是怎样更好的来这个帮助到我们人类社会的进步。然后首先我会邀请那个Internet Archive 的创始人Brewster Kahle 给我们做一次 这个 Internet Archive 这个总部的这个 virtual 这个虚拟的这个浏览，然后我等下会带着摄像机，然后带大家看一看 Internet Archive 长什么样子。Okay, I'll just one sec. OK， 你们可以说两句话吗 ？OK， Brewster, you just come forward and just make an introduction.
Hello, this is Brewster Kahle. Welcome to the Internet Archive. So glad that this conference is happening. We're very, very excited. I would like to give you a brief tour of our place, though it is on a Saturday, so there's nobody that is working, but that's the case anyway. So I would love to give you a tour around. It's a temple of openness. The idea of making universal access to all knowledge. And this is a place that we have purchased. This is our headquarters, a former church. And I would like to show you around if we can.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay.
Thank you so much.
So here we go. So we have video equipment to go and do all sorts of computer tapes and videotapes and the like. We're also going to try to digitize everything that came before the internet. So all the microphone, you may be too young to know of these devices, of how we used to go and store information. It was kind of an idea of the internet before the internet, the idea of democratizing by putting things on film. This is the New York Times from 1921. This is microfiche scanners. They're these sorts of and you have to put them in these special readers that nobody likes. They're not convenient. The internet is there. This is what we had in the 20th century, so we're trying to bring all of it. Come on upstairs. I'll show you some more. Book arts. Balinese. Well, it turns out the Balinese were the first to say yes to having all of their language, everything written in their language, available for free on the internet. Isn't that the right way to live? So I think we can learn from the Balinese. This is maybe the first piece of open source hardware. It is computers we designed, we bent the metal to make a computer that we could use inside shipping containers to be able to make open source archives on a new type of model of computer, which is clusters. It's now you know it all the time because it's how Google or Amazon is all built. But then it was new. This is our hall. We have music. So we are trying to digitize everything. The idea of having everything online. This is, we are collecting 78 RPM records. These are ones from the early 20th century. So they're old records. We can play them. So people are donating these to the Internet Archive, and then we make them available for free. It's before there was electricity, was widely distributed, so they make them mechanical. Okay, so how do we digitize books? This is a small scanning center of the Internet Archive. Here's a book scanner. So we'll take a book and raise and lower glass to photograph the pages in the book. There's two digital cameras. Click, click. Raise the glass, turn the page, lower the glass, flatten the page, click, click. We've digitized over 6 million books. We digitize 1 million books every year. That's maybe 4,000 books a day to go and make them available for free as a library. So interlibrary loan, machine learning, many of them for controlled digital lending. Again, to make things openly available. We archive software. And we made this whole system so you could do emulations to be able to play old software. And I usually play Prince of Persia, which I've been trying to learn, and you can launch it in your browser, which was very new. We did this. Play these old things. So the idea is having everything in the past be available. So come on. Oh, we have a jukebox for 78 RPM records. And oh, this is great. Come here with the camera. All right. Show in here.
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to pick a record. And I'm going to put in a coin. And this is the old way that they would go and play. Anyway, let's go upstairs. So, this was an old church. And we bought it because it matched our logo. It had the pillars. So we have presentations here. We had Aaron Schwartz stay here last weekend, where people spoke about Aaron Schwartz, but it's basically his work and how we're making openness happen. This is servers of the Internet Archive. This is maybe 7 petabytes, goes gigabytes, terabytes, petabytes, maybe 7 petabytes. And these are actually the live primary servers. So every time a light blinks, is somebody uploading something or downloading something from the Internet Archive. We have artwork, computer art. This is towards femininity, of images of the feminine. And you sit and you will be in this artwork. It's kind of fun. Then there are statues. Maybe these are the staff of the Internet Archive. Maybe you can see them here. So if you work for the archive for 3 years, we make a small statue. And you're become part of the collection to celebrate those that are working on the open world, the idea of a public service. So this is me, Wendy, Aaron Schwartz is on the stage. Oh, this is a sculpture that we donated to the Library of Congress that had the first full collection of the World Wide Web. So the idea is to collect the World Wide Web and donate it to Library of Congress. An artist, Alan Rath, made this so that it has a physical body. So it's 2 terabytes in 63 inches, the World Wide Web 1997. That's what he called it. And it sat in the front hall of the Library of Congress for 15 years. We put up numbers. That's that exercise. Do you recognize that number? It's a good international number. And these are numbers familiar to anybody that's worked on the World Wide Web. 404, document not found. 200 is okay. And 451 is taken down for legal reasons. So it's an error code of taken down for legal reasons. It's also the burning point of paper in Fahrenheit. So that's pretty much the end of our tour. This is a great hall. You're welcome to use this for anything supporting the open nature.
I was just saying.
And now we'll go back to where we were. You could hear there, you'll hear machines going everywhere. These are the live copy of the Internet Archive, the almost 99 petabytes of data. We have about 1 million users, 2 million users of the website every day. Yeah, don't trip.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And people donate things. So people are donating books to the Internet Archive. We have duplicates. We give everything that we don't need away. So thank you very much for this opportunity. And I'll be speaking a little bit later about how we can unlock the web with P2P technologies.
Thank you so much for the virtual tour. It's so good.
Thank you.
Oh yes. Okay. Let's just. Okay.
Is your microphone is not open?
哎，现在可以听到了吗 ？OK，Sorry，有点紧张，因为刚刚做了这个virtual tour，我重新说一遍，就是如果大家未来如果有机会可以来旧山的话，来森特的，那可以欢迎大家可以来的总部进行一次实地的这样欣赏。那每周五的中午，他们会有一个这个open lunch，那所有人都可以来一起来吃午饭。然后到我们去过那些地方都可以参观，并且可以甚至买一些纪念品回去。OK， 那我们就开始今天的主讲了。OK， 那 Brewster 是美国数字图书馆员，他自己自称啊叫 Digital Librarian， 然后他也是电脑工程师，他也是企业家。那他更是我们比较熟 Amazon 的这个 Alexa 的这个co-founder， 现在也是我们现在所处的这个 Internet Archive 的创始人。那他入选过这个互联网名人堂，此外也是美国文理学科学院院士、美国国家工程院院士、电子钱基金会就是 EFF 的还有公共知识网络基金会等组织的董事会成员。那我觉得其实更多的不用我来多介绍。那我们就直接有请 Brewster 来为我们做他今天的演讲。他今天的这个题目叫做，稍等，我先切到那边去。他今天的题目叫做 Locking the Web Open: A Call for a Decentralized Web。然后我现在share 下 screen， 然后有请 Brewster 来为我们做演讲，谢谢。Okay, I think you can start.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So should I make this full screen?
Yeah, sure. I think you can do it. Like just 1 second.
Yeah, with the slideshow.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. This is wonderful to be here. And I love that this conversation is not about three, but it's about P2P in broad sense. That people to people, peer-to-peer, without centralization, and without maybe some of the finance shams that are sort of going on right now in Web3. So I would like to bring up our progress on trying to bring up a decentralized web. Can we make a web that is decentralized, that will serve us better? First, to say just a little bit about the Internet Archive.
nonprofit library. I gave a tour earlier. This is the picture of the outside of the building and our motto, universal access to all knowledge. We have a lot of software, now 790,000 software titles. We have lots of moving images, 5 million, still need more. Audio recordings of music and radio and podcasts and all sorts of things. Television news, recording now Russian, Ukrainian, and Belarus. They're making those available on the Internet Archive as well as the United States television news, so that people can understand more of what's going on. We've digitized about 6 million books. We have lots and lots of web pages. We are probably best known for the Wayback Machine. It's 99 plus petabytes. We get maybe 2 million users to the Internet Archive websites, and about 5 million people using the Internet Archive every day. And it's about the 300th most popular website. Anyway, that's the internet. So what do we want to happen? We want to lock the web open. We want to make so that individuals, whether they're billions or countries, cannot play inappropriate roles for having our internet work for us, so that it should be more in control of individual people and fewer billionaires, central corporations, and large countries to go and say what should be said, what shouldn't be said, how we should interact, who gets to know about it. Let's build a decentralized web that has our values built into the center of it. Larry Lessig, my hero, he said, code is law. So we have a internet, a World Wide Web that is not serving us well. And I'd say one of the reasons why it has come to pass is we did not bake our values into the code itself. We can go and make it so that the First Amendment of the United States, freedom of the press, privacy can be baked into the code itself. How do we do that? The Internet Archive has been archiving the World Wide Web for now 26 years. So we've seen many of the changes and can analyze the changes that have been going on from Web 1, where we had Wikipedia and blogs and people going and taking responsibility for their own publications and presence on the web, to being more feeds, so that we're all locked into these large platform players. And given that the problems at Twitter, we're starting to see why. We want to be able to have more control, but we're not going to want to go back the old days. We want to go forward so that it even works better. The Internet Archive is meant to be open, but is being blocked in other parts of the world. Sometimes in Russia, always in China, and different countries block the Internet Archive and the whole library with all of the books, often because just a few videos are offensive to a government, so they'll block it for hundreds of millions of people. So we've now seen that this open internet and open access to information is not guaranteed in the current World Wide Web. Spying is censorship. That we've seen people having trouble with what they are reading and writing is going to the wrong people, or at least surprising people. So we have people are then pulling back, and that is not the right thing to do. We should have systems that encourage people to be everything that they are, and in their context with their friends, with their acquaintances. So what do we want? We want also a World Wide Web that is fun. So we want a more private, we want a more robust internet, and we still want a fun internet. Can we build those things into the next generation of code? Privacy, robustness, and still fun. Let's build a decentralized web that has those characteristics: reliable, private, and fun. So what do we mean by decentralized? So decentralized in the World Wide Web in many ways is not decentralized. So you say that has many different servers, but the internet itself, the underlying plumbing, is in the sense that you do not need permission to plug in to start trading packets. So you can go and make a system that is decentralized, permissionless to go and plug into. The World Wide Web is centralized in the sense that if your website or somebody's website goes down, that's the only copy. That's not a very robust system. You can't route around that to find it someplace else because it only exists in web domain. That's what a URL is, so limited. So can we go and build something more decentralized? Can something even like AWS in some sense is more decentralized because they can push out websites to be closer to people and in multiple places, but it's still controlled by one corporation. So can we go and have servers live in many places so that when you're getting a web page, it's coming from everywhere and nowhere, peer-to-peer. So can it come from other people's web browsers that have read it? Can it come from many different places? And you have a coherent web experience. Can we make it private so that you do not have to feel like you are being watched all the time? And the answer is yes, with the newer technologies in cryptography, newer in the sense that it wasn't available to Tim Berners-Lee, but we can go and make it work. We can also make it robust. What if we made a World Wide Web that operated more like Git? In the sense that if a website goes wrong, you can go and have a past version of it. The World Wide Web has been archived by the Internet Archive, but it's only the snapshots of what the web looks like, not how it operates. Can we go and take websites with databases and interaction and have those live in multiple places? Can you snapshot them? Can you make a World Wide Web that has a memory? Can you make it so that rich websites can live forever even after the original owner of the domain is gone? That's what libraries have always done with books that people have published. They put it on the shelf so that other people can go and learn. But now that the equivalent of a book is a website that has interaction, can we go and build something that's sophisticated? This is a call for this. And I'm hoping that you're thinking how you can help make these technologies. And I'll say a little bit of where we're going. If we're going to fix some things of the World Wide Web, I think we should make it possible for people to make money by publishing on the web. So that if you have a book that you would like to sell, you can sell it and then people can download it. Yes, they can rip it off and move it around again, but there's an easy way to go and put money back into the creator's hands. Right now, that's very difficult. You have to put it on Amazon or on iTunes or Shopify, all great services in their parts, but it's again centralized and it takes the power away from individuals to control what it is they're doing with others. So what do we now have? Well, we've got some interesting technologies to be able to play with. We've got JavaScript to make this new web out of. We've got cryptography. We have blockchain technology and Bitcoin, all of different cryptos. So there are people making real progress on peer-to-peer decentralized systems. But let's try to define what we're trying to do. How about a bold goal? How about a WordPress, but decentralized? Right? So WordPress, so you can set up a blog, but it doesn't live anywhere in particular, so that you can go and have different people that can, administrators, and have updates and blogs. Can we make that work? Most of this talk is going to be something simple like a WordPress, but decentralized. But people are working on the next steps, which is, can we build a Twitter plus Facebook, but decentralized? And we've seen some of these things, and even beyond sort of the Mastodon type of technologies. Google Docs, but decentralized, so that we're not always typing all of our key documents into a Google server. A Tesla, a car, right? My wife bought one of these. They're completely great, but they report back to home Everything you do, you tap on the gas pedal, that's recorded and sent back. It's a connected device. So there's many advantages to that. So we don't want to lose those advantages, but can we make it decentralized under our own control, under our own values? Well, what do we want for decentralized WordPress? We want it to work in a normal browser. We want it to have good names. We want it to be fast. We want it to be fun to be able to post and comment, and we want user identities with different roles. And if we really do well, we want payments and tips, and we want versions in an archive. Well, how are we doing? Well, JavaScript as an operating system, a global web operating system, is doing very well. You can go and download JavaScript and run whole IBM PCs, old Macintoshes inside your browser. So if it can go and run those older computers, they can talk to others of these computers using WebRTC. We can have a virtual operating system on top of the World Wide Web. That's pretty interesting. With WASM, it's even getting better, but we've now gotten an ability to go and download code, run it decentralized, and then be able to communicate between those instances with WebRTC to be able to do this peer-to-peer, so that if I read a web page from a peer-to-peer world, I can go and serve it to another web browser of somebody that might want it. So check, we've got it. Just to give a quick demo, we put my blog actually many years ago now into IPFS, such that it's actually being served with JavaScript out of IPFS. And you can click around on it, and it kind of works. So that's kind of fun that we've been able to get this to work. Let's see if I can get back to my. Also, we built a technology for making the Internet Archive itself, archive.org, start to get it to be peer-to-peer oriented. So dweb.archive.org you can go to. It's using HTTP, WebTorrent, the IPFS right now is flaky, so it's not working, and Gun for a database. And you can go and be able to see some things like movies from the Internet Archive. And it's now getting it from WebTorrent from other people that have this particular video. So we're starting to see even we can make an Internet Archive, but decentralized in the sense that it can come from everywhere and nowhere. So easy name systems, there's Namecoin. I think we really have not really gotten that one to work. There are some new decentralized DNS technologies, but so maybe it's solved, then I don't know about it, but we still have these long, weird numbers to deal with. Performance. How do we go and have it so that there's lots of anchors to this world, this open world, so that it's snappy? That's, again, something we don't really have yet. So it's possible to do. So it's peer-to-peer. So in other words, this web page can come from many, many different places, and it kind of come together as fast as if we're coming from a centralized place, but it's not quite done yet. The Internet Archive is interested in being a node, a high-speed node, to be a replica of other people's decentralized data to be able to serve in this way. And how do they do updates is kind of a difficult task in some of these systems of mutable torrents or mutable IPFS nodes, but smart people are working on it. They say that it's coming or it's here. So decentralized identity system. I kind of like using the same crypto pairs that we have in our wallets as our identities, but because they can be pseudonymous and they have all the chains, so you can invent as many as you want, or you can build one that has a reputation. For almost everything we do, there's a lot of people working on identity where it really requires it being touching a person. But for most of the World Wide Web, we really don't need to actually know who it is. Sometimes we want to be able to build a reputation, so we want to have recurring user identities, but it does not have to be tied to people. So We can have a WordPress, but decentralized. So that's cool. And some of this stuff is really coming along. So it can be reliable, private, and fun. The Internet Archive has been working with Filecoin and storage with a J, storage, and doing another thing than just having our website, but decentralized, but taking our data and putting it into these decentralized storage technologies as opposed to those servers that you see upstairs. So they'll be in those servers, but what happens if those go away? Wouldn't it be great to have other libraries be able to have copies of collections of the Internet Archive that can go and be served? And we're now uploading, I think we've peaked at 10 terabytes a day into Filecoin, and I'm not sure where it is right now with storage with a J, but it's also going terabytes, and or low petabytes at this point. So our goal here is to lock the web open. Peer-to-peer technologies are absolutely crucial towards keeping our cultural heritage alive. The works that we're doing to have live not just in one place, but many places, and have that all work. Together, we can build this. It's technologically difficult. Decentralized technologies are harder than centralized technologies, but I think we've seen now over and over and over again in the last 10 years, and now even really recently, why we're going to need to invest in a next generation World Wide Web. Fortunately, we've got all the pieces, and we have wonderful people that are interested in building this, and they're coming together in things like DWeb camps and summits that are happening around the world. So thank you very much, and I hope there's some time for questions.
Yes. Yeah, let me just try to, just one sec. So I think we have a question already, like
Hope so.
we have a question already asking, so basically if they're interested, how can they participate in the Internet Archive, or can they work for you guys, or how?
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah.
Well, the best thing is to work for us, but to work on the same projects as we are and contribute. We are 100 people. We're located around the world. We are looking for really good technology people. We're trying to get things to work better and better in many places. We're growing in Canada, particularly, but it's not boom times, as you know. Sort of looks like there's going to be clouds on the horizon for the economy. So we're trying to, if you can keep working in your current company, and then work on some of these projects in collaboration with the Internet Archive, please do. A way of participating is just go to archive.org and hit upload, and just try uploading something to the Internet Archive. If you're inside China, it's probably blocked, so which is too bad. So sorry about that. Maybe there's ways that we can try to find things in the Internet Archive that can work in the Chinese system without causing a great deal of consternation, and then we can bridge some of those materials.
Alrighty, thank you so much for the answer. And then I think there's another, I think there's another question from the chat.
We know that 2 of the founders of Z Library were recently arrested. Oh, I didn't hear that. And I feel that you both share the same vision of universal access to all knowledge. So I'm curious, as you see the similarities and differences between Z Library and the Internet Archive. Did the Internet Archive encounter any pressure from the government? I'm not really familiar with Z Library. I had to look it up recently when they shut down the domain. I guess it's a kind of a front end on Library Genesis or Sci-Hub. The Internet Archive is quite different in that it is it also has a goal of universal access to all knowledge. But how we've been trying to do it is a little bit differently. The Internet Archive, for instance, with books, we buy the books and we digitize the books and make them available through interlibrary loan. We digitize them for the blind and dyslexic. We make them available for machine learning, but in very controlled ways. The web pages are freely available, but the books that are modern books, if they're, for instance, within the last 5 years, we don't really make them available at all. And we just make ones older than that available, say, one reader at a time with something that's called controlled digital lending, which is really quite a very restrictive, not very good user experience, but it is what the publishers use for their in-print books. When they're doing their Netflix of books systems, we use the same things that the publishers does. So we have the same goals maybe, but I think we're trying to get at it as a much more sort of traditional library kind of way. But let's find paths forward for open access materials. Let's have it go everywhere. And good news is the United States government just mandated that federally funded research, the papers that come out of federally funded research will be made available immediately. I think it has a couple years to roll out, but there won't be a time delay between writing it and making it available publicly, which is a big boon for the open access world.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. And then I think we have like a question on Slido. Just one sec. Let me see if I can click on it. Yep. Just one sec. Yep. So according to Peng An, I noticed that IA is using IPFS,
yes,
which is also the basis for structure like NFT that emphasizes inclusive rights and a speculative value. How do we ensure that decentralized technology moves towards the openness we expect rather than a more closed and profit-seeking system?
Good question. Right. How do we go and make all this stuff work? So yes, there's been a great deal of momentum between, I think really because of the big success of Bitcoin and ups and downs of all of that. And these NFTs, which frankly, I don't own any. I'm not quite sure what even owning one. Anyway, so I kind of like the old style transaction system. Can we make something like Alipay but open? Can we for just doing transactions and payments? For most of the materials that we want to read, I think that we've seen some systems really work better, which is kind of writers pay, whether it's putting things in archive with an X or public library of science. Government documents are all public domain in the United States and a lot of the democracies around the world, and make things available. So I think we have to go and push very hard on the open. That doesn't mean that some people aren't going to want to get paid for things, and making it possible for people to be paid, I think is a good thing. But there's I saw this announcement by a major textbook publisher that they're excited about NFTs because it will restrict people's ability to sell used copies of textbooks, which is absolutely going in the wrong direction. I guess shouldn't be too surprising that publishers want to do this, but I think we should not go in that direction. So I guess I'm concurring with the questioner here.
Okay, thank you so much. I guess, do you guys have any other questions? If not, I think we can move on. And then thank you so much for.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And please visit the Internet Archive virtually, in person. And I look forward to coming back to China.
Wow.
Which has not been that easy, of course, with the pandemic, and also, well, just geopolitical changes.
When was your last trip to China?
2018 to Hangzhou and Suzhou.
Oh, wow.
Yes, there's a big project to digitize Chinese books and make them available, because in China, there's actually positive laws towards this controlled digital lending idea within the universities. It's how the Million Books Project worked in China. And we were part of that back to, now 20 years ago now.
Wow.
So there was much more cooperation, and let's make sure there's cooperation again.
Okay, thank you so very much, Brewster, and for giving us this giant venue for hosting our conference.
All yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And also, thanks to Wendy for helping us all on. And yeah, just it's a great pleasure to be here to, you know, like visiting like Internet Archive in person. It's just different from, you know, visiting here virtually, because you can see all the books and all the old devices. It's just so amazing. Guys, just if possible, just please come to San Francisco and then visit yourself. And yeah, thanks so much for the great speech by Brewster.